Okay, these are the P1 headphones, P standing for pork, and they go with the little MMCX connector, which you often find on IEMs, so those little in-ear monitors. And the whole idea of the Pork 1 headphones is they're light but big. So light, big, open back headphones. And they are 3D printed, majority of it. So let's make these. Okay, the first thing we want to do is get the headband, and we get these two parts here side, so they flex and they simply push into here. Now if you hear that noise, that squeak is what happens with PETG, but if you do these out of ABS, you will not have this squeak on them at all when they're closed. So it's a little tiny bit of a rub, but I've printed some just out of ABS, so I'll just show you the difference in the noise. It's actually a lot quieter when they're connected. Okay. This, because that's a 3D print, there'll be a bit of a click when you have to get those joints working, because they're printed in place. Now this is the one bit of soldering. These are for little connectors, the headphones. Now I purchased these off online. I'll have a link in the description, because I'm not very good at soldering, and I tried soldering that and I made a mess. It was too hard. These are the 50mm drivers. Pop them out. And we want to have the positive, the red there, and the negative. So red to red, and then blue to the other end. Now I purchased these with the little nuts. Make sure the nut fits before we do the soldering. So just check this one. Yeah, that one's good. Nice. Now with the design of these, the cable will slip through here, so we don't have to, you'll be able to take the whole driver out if there's an issue. Do not need to break anything or unsolder anything. The red to red, blue to the opposite on the far ends. Just clean the tip. That one's done. Now for the assembly. So before we put them in, we'll put this little piece in here. This screws in. so. Now this is just a no bottom fill and no top fill. So this is the pattern I like. I quite like the look of it, but do what suits you. The purpose of this is when it's bolted in, this little slot here is to stop it rotating, to keep it in place. You'll notice a little R for right and little L for left. Okay. Now I can't remember which side this is without checking. So we know this is the right. Which is that one. So the R is on the right and so that vertical, see these two lines for the horizontal, the R where the cable comes out, so your ear is here, you want this angled in to your ears. Place that in there. Now you need to get the right spacer, which is, you want this flat surface to be on this side. It was printed on the bed. And that will stop the driver from wobbling. And you notice this fillet there, that's so you line it up correctly. Now unwind this little bit here. We've got that nut off loose. Then you can poke this part through the hole. Now that's through the hole. The tricky bit, we've got to get the nut onto here. And the hardest part is just getting it started. And I'll hold it onto there to stop it turning. And I'll use another pliers to turn that bolt. You want this pretty tight because you don't want it to come loose. So it needs a bit of force. And that, in my opinion, is the hardest part. Let's do the other one. Cables go through that little space there. Make sure the bolt is off. You'll notice that ring I put in, how it's all pretty level. That's pretty level, just sticks out a tiny bit. that one was so much easier to get started. I don't know why. Okay, now this part here, this is what locks everything together. So that will push against here on these parts and keep this steady in place. So the whole idea is to keep it lightweight and avoid extra bolts or anything else that would make it heavier on your head. Grab our 110mm round ear pad. Take note of this little circle here, that will be useful later. Got that on. Find that circle. Use that circle in there with your finger to rotate that around. Get the other one now. Putting my finger in that circle there to hold it in place. We don't want to force on here. We're at our pads. Okay, then we grab our headband, line up this little part here with this slot, put that in there, and then we lock it in place. Now these are also how you adjust the size. So you need a bit bigger, you need smaller, that slides up and down. You get it for what works for you. And there we go, your own P1 headphones. 50mm open back headphones. Stay nice and small. Get your MMCX IM cords, usually. Now you'll find some of these when you buy them, that this part is bent around this because they're meant for around your ear. If you have one that's too stiff like this, if you get a heat gun, a little bit of heat, you can straighten it out. This one you can straighten out by hands, but I did have others I bought where it was quite permanent and a bit of a heat gun allowed me to straighten it, which made it suitable for the headphones. Notice the little red dot. So that's for the right side. And they just lock in there. Lock the other one in. Click. Enjoy your new P1 lightweight 3D printed headphones. And if you don't want this squeak, I recommend ABS. But I had a lot of PETG white to use up, so that's what I used for these. Thank you.